The transport ship shuddered as it entered the derelict station's docking bay. Anna pressed her palm against the cold viewport, watching the ancient structure loom closer through the darkness of space. The Galactic Council had warned her, warned all of them about venturing into human territory. But the archaeological discovery was too significant to ignore. Sensors show minimal power signatures, Lewis said from the co-pilot's seat, his antennae twitching nervously. As a Valorian, he had every reason to be cautious. His species had fought the humans during the last war, 3 centuries ago. We should reconsider this, Anna. We've come too far, she replied, her scaled fingers dancing across the control panel. The Saurian Federation had invested considerable resources in this expedition. The texts we recovered suggest this station contains pre-war human artifacts, real evidence of what they were actually like. What they were actually like. The phrase hung heavy in the recycled air. Every child in the known galaxy grew up with stories of humans, the apex predators of Earth, a death world so hostile it bred cruelty into their very DNA. They were told of human soldiers who fought without fear, who laughed in the face of death, who could endure injuries that would kill any other species, monsters wearing skin, the docking clamps engaged with a metallic groan. Anna gathered her equipment, trying to ignore the racing of her dual hearts. Lewis followed reluctantly, his biosuit's lights cutting through the gloom of the station's corridors. According to the records, this was a civilian station, Anna said, consulting her datapad. A waypoint for human merchant vessels. Civilians, Lewis muttered. As if humans made such distinctions. They moved deeper into the station, past walls covered in strange symbols, the human written language called English. Anna had studied it for years, fascinated by the complexity of a species that had developed thousands of distinct communication systems. The war propaganda had always painted humans as savage, but their linguistics suggested something far more nuanced. The main habitation ring was a time capsule. Gravity generators still functioned weakly, and preserved in the vacuum of a hull breach were objects untouched for 300 years. Anna's breath caught as she examined them. Small figurines, printed images, handheld entertainment devices. Look at this, she called to Lewis, holding up a framed picture. It showed humans, a family, she realized. 2 adults and 3 smaller ones, all bearing the same genetic markers. They were smiling, baring their teeth, the ultimate sign of aggression in most species. Yet in the image, their body language suggested joy, contentment. Propaganda piece, Lewis said dismissively. Meant to confuse enemy intelligence, but Anna wasn't convinced. She moved through a residential unit, documenting everything. Children's drawings on walls. A worn stuffed creature. A teddy bear, according to her translator. Books with titles like The Velveteen Rabbit and Where the Wild Things Are. Stories for juvenile humans. In what appeared to be a communal space, she found more. Musical instruments, recipe collections, handwritten letters sealed in protective containers. One letter began, "My dearest Sarah, I hope this finds you well." Lewis, these aren't weapons. These aren't military documents. Anna's voice trembled. These are lives. Normal lives. Her companion said nothing, but his antennae had stopped their anxious twitching. The central archive held data cores, remarkably preserved. Anna connected her equipment, holding her breath as ancient files loaded. Video logs appeared, humans speaking directly to cameras recording their daily existence. One video showed a human female in a medical uniform. Day 47 aboard Station Theta, she said, exhaustion evident in her voice. We successfully synthesized the vaccine for Valorian scale rot today. Captain Martinez says we'll transmit the formula to the Valorian medical stations by tomorrow. Maybe this will help end the war. Maybe they'll see we don't want to fight. Anna played another, a human male wearing chef's attire, laughing as he prepared food. The Saurian delegates arrive next week for the cultural exchange, he said cheerfully. I've been practicing their cuisine for months. I hope they enjoy it. Nothing brings people together like sharing a meal. Video after video. Humans teaching alien children. Humans composing music dedicated to peace. Humans weeping over casualties on both sides of the war. Humans extending hands in greeting and friendship, in desperate hope for understanding. This can't be real, Lewis whispered. But his voice lacked conviction. Anna found a personal log. The final entry dated 1 day before the station's destruction. A human female, young, perhaps their equivalent of 20 standard years, stared into the camera with strange, luminescent eyes. "My name is Dr. Elena Rodriguez," she said softly. "If anyone finds this, please know we tried. We tried so hard to make them understand we weren't their enemy. We sent medicines, shared technology, offered every olive branch we could think of." She paused, moisture gathering in her eyes. Tears, Anna realized. "Humans cried. The war fleet arrives tomorrow. They believe we're monsters. Maybe after today, after they destroy the station and everyone on it, we will be. But I want someone someday to know the truth." The video ended. The archive showed the station had been destroyed by a Galactic Council bombardment, killing all 300 humans aboard. Civilians, scientists, peacekeepers. Anna's hands shook as she looked at Lewis. "We were taught they were monsters." "Yes," Lewis said quietly, his usually rigid posture sagging, "and they learned the same about us. They gathered the data cores carefully, reverently. This evidence would change everything. The histories, the textbooks, the stories told to children." But Anna knew the hardest truth to accept would be the simplest. Humans had been people, complex and contradictory, capable of both great violence and profound compassion. As they prepared to leave, Anna paused at the framed family photo. She studied the smiles again, genuine, warm, full of love. One of the children, a small female with dark hair, held the same stuffed bear Anna had found in the residential unit. That child had lived here, had played here, had died here. Anna carefully packed the photo with the other artifacts. The galaxy needed to see these smiles, needed to understand what had been lost when fear and propaganda had painted an entire species as monsters. "Anna," Lewis said from the doorway, "what do we tell them? The council won't want this released." She straightened her spine, feeling the weight of truth settling onto her shoulders. "We tell them everything. We tell them that humans weren't monsters, they were people. And we destroyed them for it." As their ship pulled away from the station, Anna looked back one final time. Somewhere in the ruins behind them, Dr. Elena Rodriguez's final message waited in the darkness, a testament to a species that had reached for the stars hoping to find friends, only to find fear instead. The stories had spoken of monsters called humans. But the truth was far more haunting. Humans had been the ones afraid of monsters. And then one had smiled, hoping against hope that someone would smile back.